I have signed Gareth Bale,
Good evening.
Blitz color card on my console account, and I signed Wayne Rooney just for the memories on my mobile account. And because the pack didn't disappear instantly, it feels like just a prediction, just a speculation. We may get another try. Some of these I've used for months, like Cannavaro. Some of these I use only for 2 games, like Gareth Bale.
Don't push the horses. Don't push the horses.
Pardon me?
Don't
Okay,
push
Bale.
the horses. Don't push horses.
Picture?
Don't push what?
Don't push the horses. Don't push
It's
the
the Blitz color
horses.
territory.
Horses.
We're approaching
Don't
that.
push the horses.
I need a
Blitz color!
translator.
Yo! Whoa! Do you need any? But I also face some of these cards, very overpowered, like Bebeto. And I know that they're dangerous. And I know that with the builds that I'm going to be suggesting as well, you can create beautiful emotions with your team, right? So we'll try with the worst cards, and then we'll build from here. So D is the worst, C is like mid, B is mid, better than mid, A is brilliant, and S is insane, sensational, fantastic, god tier. So we'll start with the worst cards, and in my opinion, the one that I will put in D category, and will be probably the only one, is Denilson. Just because I have the Denilson myself, and I can speak from experience, it's a cross specialist, a playstyle that I don't even use. And it's also a card that drifts to the corner flag, and you always need to cross, and he doesn't have edge crossing too. I have a different Denilson though, I have a whole player Denilson, and that Denilson is clear. So I'll put him in D. And the build for Denilson will be the following. That's how it will build him. And I give him a little bit of finishing and passing so that you train him to play as an attacking midfielder or second striker. And from there, you try to play him with attacking instructions so he acts like a whole player, like a homemade whole player. Another card that, in my opinion, is pretty mid is Carles Puyol. And this is not me speaking from experience, this is me speaking from the stats that I see on the card and from videos that I've seen before, that his positioning is a little bit all over the place. Even though with this build, you get a decent card. The problem why he is mid and why he is in D category for me, this would be the build of Puyol. I think the problem is that he is not better than free Tony Adams. And he doesn't have a aerial fortress skill or aerial fortress or a just general fortress. It doesn't have the special skill, long range tackle. He'll be in D for me. But if you're building a Barcelona team, fantastic. Now that's a good card. Another card that will be in C for me, that's Iker Casillas. Now Casillas, on the face value, is a good goalkeeper, right? Double booster. It's a brand new card though. And I feel like these brand new cards are somewhat nerfed, right? That would be my build. So you want to reach as high as possible on goalkeepers that are shorter than 190. And you want jump as well. From what I discovered with the clips of my goalkeeper jumping, I feel like it's nice to have good jump because you never know. Maybe just vertical. But my Livakovic and my Diego Costa with 90 jump or 89 jump for Bayer, they were kind of jumping for these corner shots. It's my perspective. A little bit better. So Casillas, it's just for the memories, you can get him to your team. Not exceptional. This Kaka, don't take me wrong. Kaka has unique player ID, fantastic body movement. He is going to be replicating the experience of playing with Kaka. The problem is that my single booster version of Kaka is better. And that is pathetic from why would I get a double boost? How is double booster card can be worse than this single booster card? So this is 4 of the worst cards, and now we are getting in the territory of usable. And for me, that would be Wayne Rooney. Wayne Rooney, look, he doesn't have additional skills without improving him with double touch and I don't know, maybe additional passing skills. He's going to be feeling like he's not a complete card. And for that, a lot of improvement is needed. It's a tedious process. And he is not the fastest, right? For Wayne Rooney, I would go for this build, and I played a few games with him, scored some nice goals. He has that phenomenal finishing, has that kicking power. You can try long shots with him. Don't push the horses, as someone would say. Now we're getting into this territory of Dragan Stojkovic. He's an interesting card. And if you look at this card, he's a fantastic creative playmaker. But why am I putting him in mid category? Just because you received Snyder for free before, and he was single booster. So for me, Snyder is playing literally the same role as this Dragan Stojkovic. I don't need another creative playmaker like that. And this, for me, would be mid. So he is not improving that much, my team. And when it comes down to another creative playmaker that I think is good, and that is Paul Scholes, this is nice because you can actually try and score some bangers with him. very satisfying rising shots with Scholes. I have a single booster version of him. I gave him additional skills. I gave him the double touch, counter double touch. He already has the double touch already here. So for me, that's already like a bonus. You don't have to worry about giving him too many additional skills. Has all the passing skills, the great passing range, weighted pass. That's a very good decision going for Scholes, even though for me, he is not like the end game card. For another card that is in A, that is Xabi Alonso. Now, orchestrators, you cannot compare. Alex, do I need to go for Scholes or Xabi Alonso? For me, this Xabi Alonso has been good. He's just a role player. You don't expect him to score bangers, even though he can. You just use the Xabi Alonso to like play in 2 pivot point, maybe single if you want, but 2 pivot point with someone who is a bully. He's going to be distributing the balls to for you easily, and he has that phenomenal pass. So people who are lazy to turn their players and spam one-touch passes will be very happy to have this Xabi Alonso. That would be his build. Even though he has only 82 speed, that is more than enough for the sitting center midfielder playstyle like orchestrators. Speaking about another card that is in that A category, and I use that Marco van Basten a lot, I feel like he's not really reaching that God tier just because he's heavy. And you cannot really change him to get to like higher balance. Like it's really difficult. So for Van Basten, you use him to win headers. And that's why I give him 7 aerial strengths. In fact, I can give him like 1 more. And yeah, I can give him to passing like 1 point. I was rebuilding this card a little bit. So he has the dribbling, has that finishing, right? You can go for 95 finishing build. But I don't think there's a need for that. Now we get into the category of very weird players. On paper, if we forget about the playstyle of this Caceres, you are actually facing a monster just because you can build him as a center back. I give you 2 builds. This one, defensive build. You can have replace your Costa Curta. If you missed out on Costa Curta and you really need a defensive fullback, play him with defensive instruction. Surely he will be replicating that experience of playing defensive fullback. Unless Konami messes up the instruction. What is Alex build? Alex has athletic build, man. It's Alex build, boss. See, I'm so wide I can't fit in the screen. That's the Alex build, man. Don't push the horses, man. I'm using inactive playstyle on my Thuram as a center back. He works. Thuram is a defensive fullback. He is a offensive fullback. As a center back, playstyle not activated. Will be probably acting like a build-up. And then you can build him like this. Full defensive build with Fortress and play him as a center back. Or as a right left back, but with defensive instruction. This is insane stats. And he has that Fortress skill. And he has a lot of interception and marking defensive skills too. Very unique card. He may be losing some headers, right? Only 180. That is the only downside. You may change the build to give him more aerial strengths. Right, downgrade maybe pace to 85. And give him aerial strengths, boost it, so that he has 95 jump, 95 physical contact. You can test it, but like it's an experiment. Why would I do an experiment if I can get Cannavaro instantly, right? Now, this card of Forlan, I will still put him in A, just because of the absence of that special shooting skill, right? He doesn't have phenomenal finishing. But even if you look at this Forlan, he has everything except for exceptional dribbling, right? This Forlan is him. He is maybe not the fastest, 89. Like obviously Mbappe, free Mbappe has 95 speed. But he has the balance, has the finishing. Look at this place kicking. He can take corners for you. He can take free kicks. And he has dribbling almost in 90. And just because he doesn't have that in 90, doesn't have the special skill, you will probably pick Bebeto ahead of him. Bebeto is getting into the S category, right? S meaning very good, not bad. Not what you thought, you dirty bastard. Look at him. If you're sleeping on Bebeto, your loss. You get everything that you have with Forlan, and then some. I don't have Bebeto, but I have a few clips. This is the moment where my opponent has Bebeto. Look at him. Look at him. In the top right corner, underneath, like you see, Bebeto? He's about to make the run that will bamboozle my defenders. It is over for me. Bebeto makes a run. Bebeto takes a regular shot. Bebeto scores. That's what I experienced against Bebeto. It's scary to play against these players. And obviously you probably realize that I'm getting all of these cards into S category. And we'll start with Gareth Bale. Guys, he's not the best dribbler. And I replicated this build and I played a few games. You've seen the footage. It was pretty impressive. My build has dribbling and balance in 85. And I feel like when you have that in 85, you're getting into, you're building something here, right? You can, of course, go for a different build and try like more kicking power, more balance, more offensive awareness. Offensive awareness is the only thing that is kind of underwhelming. I didn't notice like he was selling me in attacking positions. In fact, he was making nice runs. He's lacking a few skills though. Like that's the downside of this Bale. But that Blitzkiller compensates everything. Free-to-play Blitzkiller, if Konami is releasing more of this later down the line, that is probably why you would be regretting picking up that Bale. But we don't know. There is no leaks, no indication of Konami doing that. If Konami is never releasing free-to-play Blitzkiller, you will be regretting not picking up that Bale. Because you have another dimension for your attack. Scoring from the angles that I scored today when I was testing this Gareth Bale, I have no words. Obviously, a little bit pathetic that he's 27 years old and he has this like kind of mediocre stats in dribbling. He was very good at dribbling. But, I mean, that's what Konami. Konami decided to nerf that card a little bit so that it's not a sore part. But the Blitzkiller is just as good as any premium card. And then, of course, we go and I would put Bale ahead of Bebeto just because of Blitzkiller. Free-to-play Blitzkiller, that is, of course. Oliver Kahn is in S category. Look, I played with him on mobile and on console. You've seen the saves. I think this is very solid. Very solid for the build, and he literally plays like his stats suggest. He's a very reliable goalkeeper. The downside to this Kahn, you need to somehow give him low punt so that you distribute the ball a little bit easier. And Cannavaro. Like Cannavaro, I would say, is probably the best card in this. He doesn't have the special additional skill. This is the build that I've been using for a while now. This is such a fantastic card just because you have so many points in abundance that I decided to build his dribbling so that he can trap the ball, intercept the ball, and easily now I can start attacks with him. I give him low lofted pass, I gave him weighted pass, his switches are brilliant. Blitzkiller Bale is S tier card just because free-to-play Blitzkiller. If Konami releases more, I will downgrade him. If we know as of now, Blitzkiller Bale is there. I was very impressed, very impressed, literally, man. The goals that he scored, I shouldn't be scored. And he scored this. And it's a free-to-play card. What else do you need? The game is broken beyond belief. This would be my final ranking based off my experience. I didn't play, I think, or didn't face like two of these cards. Dragan Stojkovic, he may be a little bit higher. I agree. And Kaka is a new card, but I have different Kaka. And knowing my Kaka, I know that this one is worse. I wouldn't be picking him if I were you. All of the cards I either faced or used. And this is my tier list. Let me know. Of course, everyone agrees with my decisions. Let me know out of 10, how much do you agree with me? Like 10 out of 10 or 9 out of 10? I don't accept any other. Am I supposed to be complaining about free cards? I am complaining about something else, you know, if I complain. Smart Assist, get rid of that. Add some new fun events to play. Update on the gameplay. Make it a little bit less AI dependent, robotic. Make it more smooth. We all know the problems. I've been talking about that for ages. But look at this team and look at this tier list and tell me, if I need to force Caceres into my team, no, I don't need it. I don't need it. I don't want to bench my Costa Curta. He's working for me. And the same thinking, that's like people are asking, should I get that card? Should I get this card? This is a full free-to-play team, by the way. And you've seen this, me pulling all of these cards live on stream. So like, it's not like I was hiding something from you. 400 coins, 900 coins, you can build a team like that, very similar, maybe not that part. Maybe I was too lucky. I'm a Konami agent, Konami child, but you get the idea. So if I see this tier list, right, and I decide to push someone into my team, push through, right? I already have Cannavaro and Kahn. That's nice. That's why they're in S tier, because they're performing for me. If I were to push someone into my starting 11, that would be Gareth Bale. That's the only card that actually is entering my starting 11 with the bank. And if I get, like, if we talk about, like, for instance, double booster Forlan, I have Batistuta. He is just as good at Forlan, you know? You look at the weaknesses in your team. Maybe you have fantastic strikers like me. You don't need Gareth Bale. If you don't spam Blitzkillers, you don't like, rely on Blitzkillers, don't do that. You look at this list, and I look at the players that are available, and I don't see any player that will improve my team better than Gareth Bale, because I already had Cannavaro and Kahn. So for me, the decision was pretty simple. Paul Scholes, yes, he may be just slightly better than my Snyder, but my Snyder is very good. Like, he is not even selling me. He doesn't have additional skill of phenomenal pass, visionary pass, but like, it works for me. I don't want to bench him, whatever it takes. I already have problem benching him because of my bench is already overpowered. I have Bellingham, who is sitting on the bench. I don't want this to happen, man. I have this Kremaski as well, very fun little card, man. So, and I have this Xabi Simons as well. All of these cards were free to play. And I don't want to get rid of them or relegate one of these cards to my reserves. The only card that I look at this list, right, the only card that actually deserves to be in my team, given that I already have Cannavaro and Kahn, is Gareth Bale. Bebeto can be nice too. But like I'm saying, I have already good strikers that deliver for me. So this is what you should apply. The same thing you should apply. And by the way, Nadir, big up to our Discord member Nadir477. Let's go Chelsea, bro.